Okay, so Membean, one of the big things for this week. I want to explain to you how I'm grading it and what it's going to look like moving forward. Because this is your first time using the program, I want you to at least be familiar with what's going on. Okay, like I said before, my grading for this is very simple. If you do your 30 minutes each week for the 2 weeks, you get 100. If you do 30 minutes for 1 week, you get a 50. If you don't do any of it, it's a 0. Pretty straightforward on that. Nothing too crazy or hectic. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a Membean quiz every 2 weeks. So starting on Monday, which will start this Monday on the 21st, going to Sunday at 11:59 at night, that's when the Membean window opens for the new minutes. So from Sunday night 11:59 to Monday, that is your time that you need to get your stuff done. Get your 30 minutes done in that time frame. Because if you don't, it's not going to get counted. And it's going to be you missed a week. Now, your quiz grade. Okay, and that should make sense, right? You do your 30 minutes, you get your grade. And over 2 weeks, you do that twice, boom, it goes from a 50 to 100. No big issue there. Now, the quiz grade, I calculate it very specifically because I like to be very simple on my stuff and I'll make it as simple as possible for y'all too. So the quiz grade will be counted only if you completed the prior 2 weeks worth of 30 minutes. So let's say, for example, I have one that's virtual. I have somebody that's virtual in one of my classes that they did, I think it was like 15 minutes the first week, didn't do the 30-minute minimum. They didn't hit the 30 minutes that they were supposed to that week. So that week, it's gonna not count for them. The next week, they stepped up and did like nearly 130 minutes or so worth of time and just like really tried to make up for the fact that they did 15 minutes the week before. Okay, that's good. That's very good to see that you're putting forward a lot of effort there right before game time, but you didn't do the practice the week before. So that person will still be getting a 50 in terms of the Membean on the 2 weeks because they only did 1 week that was over 30. Make sense? Yep. So here's the deal. I'm still going to make y'all take the quiz. I want y'all to take the quiz because I want you to understand how to do it, what it looks like. It's a timed quiz, so it's one that it's just like your normal Membean stuff where it keeps track of your time. And if you're like staring off in the clouds for like 4 minutes, it's going to count those as dubious minutes, and it's not good. So you have to earn that stuff back. So if, for example, you have 4 dubious minutes in a week and you did exactly 30 minutes, you have to do 4 more minutes of good minutes to be able to equal out those bad 4 minutes. Think of it as like reps in a sport. If you do, actually it's exactly like a sport. Picture that you're going to a soccer game. You have a big soccer game that's coming up in 2 weeks. It's a state championship. And so you're going to be playing. You have 2 weeks worth of practice that you got to do. So you can do 2 weeks worth of practice, and just do it with the whole team. But instead of doing that, the first week you decide, all right, I'm going to do 12 hours today. I'm going to do all of my training right now and do your 12 hours of training and at the start of those 2 weeks. And for the next 13 days, you sit at home and eat Takis and Doritos and just get fat and do nothing for 13 days. When you come to me and ask, hey, can I go in and play the game and get the glory of winning the state championship with you guys? No, because you didn't put in the time and practice. You weren't here. Yeah, you killed yourself on the first day and you did all that super amount of work, but you didn't do it as consistent as everybody else is. And so you're not going to be as prepared. Just like the same thing with your vocab. If you just do like 3 hours worth of it one day and don't do it any other time during those weeks, you're going to forget most of that stuff. Your quiz is over the words you've done for the past 2 weeks. So it sort of resets it, sort of figures out where you're at. Okay, so you did really good with these words. We might want to move you up, give you some harder words for this week, or you really struggled on that quiz. We'll bring you down to where you're going to still be challenged, but it'll be a little bit easier for you to work through. Okay, so it sort of like resets your baseline where you're at to help you out. Now, you'll have a chance to make up those minutes in those quizzes, because the quiz grade is going to be helpful to you. If you take the quiz and it doesn't count because you didn't do your minutes, well, you don't get the points for doing the quiz. So what's going to happen is in Infinite Campus, I'll put in your 0, 50, or 100, and if you didn't do your minutes those weeks, maybe it's a 50 or 0, you'll have that grade in, and for your quiz, it'll go in as missing because you didn't put in the full time of training for your quiz to actually matter, for it to count as a grade to help you. Does that make sense in terms of that when I talk about the training and doing the game? That's at least the best way I know how to explain it. So you'll have a chance. Now, here's the thing. You'll have a chance to make up the minutes, make up the quiz grades. I'm not so sadistic that you won't have a chance to earn it back. But that'll happen as we get closer to our first school break. Because during the course of these weeks that you're here in school, you already have Membean minutes to do. You have to do 30 minutes for those weeks. It's going to be specifically for that time period. But during our first school break, whether that's fall break or winter break, that'll be the time that you can earn back minutes and make your quiz grades count. So I'll tell you more specifically how you can earn that time back as we get closer to that. For just these first 2 weeks, treat wherever you're at as a sort of learning point, okay? If you didn't hit all your minutes in 30 minutes for this week and the week before, well, you know, for these next upcoming weeks, you need to make sure that you're getting your stuff in so that your quiz grade counts. That's the only vocab that you're getting. It's a 10% grade. For your whole grade, it's 10% of it, just from this vocab. You gotta make sure that you're getting this stuff done, okay? All right, so the new Membean cycle, again, it starts on Monday and goes through to Sunday. That's when I check the times, so you gotta make sure that you've been doing it. You should have been doing it up till this point, but you still have quite a few days up until when it's gonna send me the report. It sends me the report every Sunday night, 11:59. That's when I check it. I have a little list. I check week 1 or week 2. If you did week 1, check. If you didn't do it week 2, you don't get a check. And so you have 2 checks, boom, your quiz grade's gonna count. That's gonna be good for you. Does that make sense? Good? Okay. All right, so we are actually gonna do this here in class. I wanna do the Membean quiz with you guys here in class because this is the first time y'all are ever doing it. It's a 15-question quiz. It's timed, it's like 13 minutes, I think. It's a timed quiz. It's gonna be just like you do with Membean, where it's got that timer on you. You just gotta make sure that you're working through it and you're thinking through, because this is stuff you've been doing for 2 weeks. You should be pretty familiar with it. Okay, so you'll work through that. As you finish, you can work on your Membean minutes for this week or any other thing that you need to get done for my class. Okay, so right now, once you guys go ahead and sign into Membean, it'll say quizzes, assignments at the bottom right. As you scroll down, it'll say like quizzes, assignments. You'll click on quizzes where it has there. It'll have one already there for you. Just click on it and it should open up for you to be able to get in.